Have you ever wondered why so many houses in America are built with wood, while in many other countries, homes are commonly built with concrete, bricks, or stone? At first, it seems strange. Wood looks lighter. Concrete looks stronger. So why did Americans choose wood for so many homes? Was it because America had huge forests? Was it because wooden houses were faster to build? Or is there a much bigger story behind it? The answer goes back hundreds of years. From the first European settlements to the modern American suburbs, wood played a huge role in shaping the way Americans built their homes. And the surprising part is, America's wooden houses were not created by one single invention. They evolved because of forests, transportation, technology, labor, climate, and the rapid growth of the country. So today, let's travel back through American history and discover why wood became one of the most important building materials in America. 2. In the 1600s, European settlers began establishing permanent communities in North America. One of their biggest needs was simple: a place to live. And around many of these settlements was something incredibly valuable: vast forests. Trees were everywhere. Instead of transporting heavy bricks and stone over long distances, settlers could use timber that was available nearby. Trees could be cut, shaped, and turned into beams, boards, doors, and roof structures. For people trying to build homes quickly, wood was extremely practical. This doesn't mean every American house was wooden. Brick and stone were also used, especially where those materials were readily available. But in many areas, wood became the easiest material to work with. And that decision would influence American architecture for centuries. 2. 3. By the 1700s, American settlements were expanding. More families were arriving. New towns were developing, and people needed houses faster than ever. Wood had several advantages. It was relatively lightweight. It could be cut into different shapes, and workers could often obtain it locally. A wooden structure could also be changed or expanded as a family grew. Imagine a family building a small house today, then adding another room several years later. That flexibility was extremely useful in a growing country. As American communities expanded westward, the availability of timber continued to influence construction. But the biggest change was still ahead. 3. 4. The 1800s brought enormous changes to America. Factories expanded, cities grew, railroads spread across the country, and construction technology improved. One important development was the increasing use of wood frame construction. Instead of making extremely thick walls from solid timber, builders could create a structural skeleton from smaller pieces of wood. Then they could attach boards and other materials around that frame. This made construction more efficient. It also meant that homes could be built using standardized pieces. And when America began building entire neighborhoods, that became extremely important. The country didn't just need beautiful houses, it needed thousands and eventually millions of houses. Wood frame construction was well suited to that challenge. 4. 5. During the 19th century, a construction method known as balloon framing became important in American building history. The technique used long, vertical wooden studs to create the framework of a building. Compared with older, heavy timber methods, this could make certain buildings faster and more efficient to construct. And there was another advantage. Builders could use smaller, standardized pieces of lumber instead of relying entirely on enormous structural timbers. This matched perfectly with America's growing sawmill industry. More lumber was being produced, more standardized building materials were becoming available, and transportation was improving. Wood was no longer simply something builders found in the forest. It was becoming an industrial building product. 5. 6. By the late 1800s, America's railroad network was transforming the country. Materials could travel much farther than before. Lumber could be produced in one region and transported to another. Sawmills became more efficient, and construction materials became increasingly standardized. This helped make wood frame houses practical across a huge country. A builder didn't have to create every piece from scratch. Standard-size lumber could be delivered to a building site and assembled into a structure. This was one of the secrets behind America's ability to build houses quickly. And as cities and towns continued expanding, that speed became more valuable than ever. 6-7. By the early 1900s, wood frame construction had become a major part of American residential building. But here's something important. A house that looks like a wooden house from the outside may not actually have solid wooden walls. Modern houses can have a wooden structural frame covered by layers of insulation, drywall, weather barriers, siding, or even brick veneer. So when you see a typical American suburban house, you're often looking at a wood-framed structure with several different materials around it. After World War II, this became even more important. America experienced a huge demand for new homes. Suburbs expanded, entire neighborhoods were constructed, and builders needed a method that was relatively fast, adaptable, and economical. Wood framing fit that demand extremely well. So, why does America still build so many homes with wood? Because of history and practicality. America has a huge lumber industry, experienced builders, and construction systems designed around wood framing. Other countries prefer brick or concrete because of their own climate, materials, traditions, and building methods. In America, wood simply became the tradition. From the 1600s to today, wooden homes have grown alongside America itself. They aren't just houses, they're a part of American history,